Good morning, oh, what the hell was this game? Good morning, afternoon, and evening, ladies and gentlemen. And I just watched one of the most ridiculous games of football I've ever seen. It was both brilliant and sloppy. It was both awesome and horrible. And it went to double overtime, and the Roughriders will advance just barely past the Stampeders and will play the Bombers in the West Final. So let's go into this absolute shit show of the game. So it starts off going pretty even. Both teams just kind of looking to get into some sort of a rhythm. And Paredes will get a field goal attempt and miss.
Holy crap. Oh, there's a flag. Paredes doesn't miss, though. Not only did he miss, but Saskatchewan returns for a touchdown. Well, yeah, what's this flag for? We'll see.
Yep, that Paredes, the one that missed, 4 kicks all year? Yeah, not the greatest start for him. You just hope that maybe he can finish well, but is what it is. Guy had a lot resting on his shoulders, so honestly, you can't really blame him, A lot of pressure, is what it is. He would miss that 40-yard field goal attempt, though. And Saskatchewan would return for a touchdown, but there's a flag. There would be an illegal block by Saskatchewan bringing this ball all the way back. And then Fajardo decides that Moxie is who he wants to throw it to. So, there you go. Interception numero one. One of many. One of so many interceptions. You will not believe this all happened in one football game. Then Bo Levi Mitchell would hand it off to their running back and punch it in for a touchdown. I can't remember which running back it was. That's why I just said running back. Sorry about that. And then the convert would be good, making this 7-0 for the Stampeders. The fans of Mosaic Stadium were not happy as they felt like they just got robbed of a touchdown and then getting scored. Just kind of a shitty situation for them. But then Moxie with a beautiful pick once again. His second on Fajardo.
Oh my God! Moxie again! Oh my Lord! What a pick! Jesus!
All right, and then Mayer would go in for short yardage and just ends up 1 inch short. Sticks had to be pulled out a few times today. This one was not in favor of the Stampeders. Saskatchewan would get the ball. Second quarter, Saskatchewan gets a field goal. 7-3 for the Stampeders. And then Bo Levi Mitchell throws and hits the top, just the fingertips of one of his receivers, and then it pops straight up, and then it gets caught by Saskatchewan. Turnover. Now, this is one thing that is taught to receivers, and I think he truly felt like he could have got that. I'm not sure. It was a little bit of a stretch. But some of the things that they'll sometimes teach receivers is if you can't catch it and it's going high, hit it down. That prevents the play that you just saw of it getting hit up. Another guy seeing that, being able to scoop under and get the turnover, but is what it is. Then it would go back and forth a bit longer before Jamal Morrow would return it for the touchdown.
Oh my God. Touchdown Saskatchewan. Wow. Wow, just wow.
The convert would be good. 10-7 for the Roughriders, getting their first lead in the game, at least I believe. Yeah, first lead of the game. Want to make sure I didn't screw that up. Anyways, Calgary right after this would get a pretty strong drive, and then Bo Levi Mitchell throws another interception. I don't even have all the interceptions written down. It was so hard to keep track of how many there was. And then when Saskatchewan went back on offense, Fajardo saw Moxie and he's like, I need to pass the ball to this boy once more. Third interception by Moxie.
3 interceptions.
Oh, he's reading.
It's not even halftime. What is going on?
Yep, so that happened, and then Paredes would miss another kick. Paredes, supposed to be one of the best kickers in the league. Come on, man. But the pressure was getting to him. Being in that away crowd was not doing him any favors. And then there would be a touchback, making this 10-8 for the Riders. And then the play would end, and Sean Lemon decides it's a great idea to punch someone in the head. Now, I don't know if you know that, if any of you hockey fans know how differently football deals with this. What happens in hockey, you maybe give the guy a 2-minute penalty. Maybe nothing happens. A lot of the times it doesn't. Football, one punch to the head, you're gone. Gone. Tossed from the game. Sean Lemon, a stupid decision, because what the hell were you accomplishing? You lost your cool, man. And when you do that, you think you're going to hurt him? Like, you know how protective these helmets are? You think a punch is going to hurt him? You're going to break your knuckle before you give anything to him. So just a stupid play by Lemon. Takes himself out of there and weakens this Calgary defense a little bit on the line. Yeah, so going into the third quarter, Riders have a 25-yard advantage because of that. Then immediately pulls an onside kick, nails the onside kick, and then the Riders would go in for a touchdown. Then the convert would be good, making this 17-8 for the Riders. Riders are in full control right now, but then Paredes finally hits a field goal there for the Stampeders, making this 17-11 for the Riders. And then there would be this really weird play where Saskatchewan would punt it, and Calgary would absolutely screw up the catch, except unlike Shaq Cooper with it going through his arms, it hits him right on the top of the head. Saskatchewan would recover it.
Who has control?
It was supposed to be Calgary. I think they still have it. But...
No, they don't! Oh, my Lord.
And then Saskatchewan would go for a 43-yard field goal attempt, and they would hit the uprights. Those pesky uprights. How they hate the Roughriders. You know exactly what I'm talking about. Fajardo. And then Paredes would get another field goal. It looked like he was finally getting into his rhythm. 17-14 for the Roughriders going into the fourth quarter, which, holy crap. What on earth? This is where it goes from nuts to insanity. And so Fajardo would go for a run, and he had this really nice pass fake where basically he saw two guys closing on him, and all he had the ball, and he just went like this. And then he just kept running, and that guy jumped straight up, completely exposed himself, ran straight through, took that one guy out of the play. Brilliant move by Fajardo there. And then the Riders would get a field goal, making this 20-14, strengthening their lead a bit more. And then Bo Levi Mitchell would have a huge pass to Beggleton, really trying to bring up, recover some ground here because, they're behind in the fourth quarter. They got to move their ass. And then Carey would run it for the touchdown for the Stampeders.
Oh, yeah, he's in. Did like a dolphin dive over the line, but he got himself in. Oh, boy.
The convert would be good, and this would be a 21-20 game for the Stampeders. Stampeders back in charge here. And then Fajardo would throw his not first, not second, not third, but his fourth interception of the night. Good job. And then Paredes would hit another field goal, making this 24-20 for the Stamps. And then Fajardo would drive it all the way down the field and then drive in for the Saskatchewan touchdown.
Oh, he's got it. There they go. Riders touchdown with, just over 2 minutes left? Jeez, this is close.
Yep, and then the convert would be good. 27-20 for the Riders. Riders are back in top. And then Paredes, needing the field goal, just barely hits it, like less than a foot in those posts before hitting the post. Gets it in, ties this game 27-27. We're going to overtime. So they go in, and for those who don't know how overtime works, and I'm just going to explain it for those who don't, just because some of our viewers are mainly hockey viewers. So for football overtime, each of you get a drive inward. You start at the 35, and each of you gets it once, and you basically just flip a coin to decide who goes first, who goes second, and all that. So, but normally going second is definitely preferable, because if the team first gets nothing, that means you don't have to get a touchdown. You get a field goal, you still win the game. Anyways, so I thought that the coin toss would honestly decide who wins this game at that point, because it's quite a big advantage if you really think about it. So Saskatchewan would go first, as Calgary won the toss. They would go in. They can't quite get far enough, but they get the field goal, so that way it doesn't give Calgary an easy out, at least to win the game. So then Calgary then goes on it. They really, very first throw, they go for the touchdown pass, which I thought was a bold fucking statement. And then they decide, and then they keep going. They can't quite get it. They settle for the field goal as well, force this into a second overtime. Now, one thing that's important here, you have to remember, Calgary offense was just on. They got to continue, because if overtime then goes into multiple different overtimes, it then switches, and whichever team went first then goes second, and vice versa. So Calgary's offense remains on the field. They go for it, and then all of a sudden they set them up for, I believe, a 38-yard kick. Paredes has made this a ton of times, and just barely misses it. Paredes absolutely devastated, because at that point he pretty much knows it's game over at that point. If you miss a field goal in overtime, you're kind of screwed. There's no recovering. And then Saskatchewan would go on it and eventually, of course, hit the field goal and win this game 33-30.
This is it. If Saskatchewan hits this, it's all over.
Yeah.
Up, and that's in. Saskatchewan wins in double overtime, basically. Jesus Christ.
So what the hell do I even say about this game? I'm flabbergasted. This game was just nuts from beginning to end. And as a Bomber fan, as a fan of the team that the Roughriders are about to face, there are some positives for sure. For example, the fact that he was throwing interceptions like crazy, that's a great thing, especially since now he's going to be going against a defense that's a lot better. You're now going against the best defense in the CFL. Can they force more turnovers? I hope so. But the downside is that it kind of shows somewhat how unpredictable they can be. I mean, this was a nuts game. There was almost nothing that you could predict that was going to go on, ever after halftime, because you knew at the end of the second quarter that second half of this game is going to be nuts. So, flabbergasted. But I cannot wait. I will be there at the West Final. I will be in IG Field. I will be losing my mind, cheering for my Bombers, because I want more than anything them to go to the Grey Cup. So, congratulations on the Roughriders on getting the victory. Congratulations to your fans. Thank you, viewers. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already. And that's pretty much all I'm going to say about this video. Until our next set of games, the East and West Final. I'll see you guys later.